po sa atin maraming katanungan tungkol sa real estate and mortgage and bankruptcy at dito po sa Kababayan LA, you need not worry dahil meron po tayong sagot sa bawat isang katanungan na yan sa ating legal forum.
This legal forum segment is brought to you by the Reyes Law Group.
Attorney Norberto Reyes III, hello and welcome back to Kababayan LA.
Hi Janelle, nice to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You know, bagong taon na po kaya marami sa atin nagbabagong buhay. And for those of us who sadly, they lost their homes to foreclosures, it's also a good time for them because then they can start fresh.
Correct. Yes.
Pero ang tanong po nila, pag ba ako nawala yung bahay ko through foreclosure, liable pa rin pa ba ako na bayaran yung mortgage sa property na yon?
Well, it depends, and that's why it's really important for us to have a consultation with the client to make sure that they are getting the proper advice. Kasi it depends on whether their mortgage was used to purchase the house versus the mortgage that was used to refinance the house.
Okay, so first, what if the mortgage was used to purchase the house?
If the mortgage was what we call a purchase money mortgage, that means that if the bank lost money from the foreclosure, they can no longer pursue the homeowner to recover what they lost. So let me give an example. So, for example, the homeowner owes $500,000 on their mortgage, and the bank foreclosed on the home, and they were only able to sell the home for $300,000. So, may utang sila na $200,000 to the bank.
Right.
However, because it was used to purchase the home, we call that a purchase money mortgage, and the bank can no longer pursue the homeowner for the balance with the deficiency, which is $200,000.
So hindi na sila mahahabol ng bangko.
Yes.
What if the mortgage was used for refinance?
Then the rules can change. If in the same example the mortgage was used for a refi, then the homeowner remains personally liable to the bank for any deficiency, such as in my example, the $200,000 deficiency. The homeowner is liable to the bank for that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It is because pag nag-refi, you're taking money out.
Not necessarily. That's not necessarily the reason. The reason is just that if it is not a purchase money mortgage, homeowner remains personally liable. However, don't despair because usually if the bank forecloses, there's this thing, there's a law in California called the one-action rule. And what that means is that if the bank chooses to foreclose on the house, then they can only recover the house against the home. They can only recover on the house, and they cannot pursue the homeowner for any deficiency in the debt.
Okay.
So that's why the banks, they have a choice. They have a choice to either foreclose or file a lawsuit to foreclose, which is called a judicial foreclosure. In a judicial foreclosure, they can hold the homeowner responsible for the entire debt.
But in your experience, what are the banks doing now? Are they foreclosing or filing a suit to foreclose?
The judicial foreclosures are very rare. Thankfully, they're very rare because most banks understand that there would really be no point because the homeowner doesn't have that money anyway.
To pay for it,
to pay for the deficiency. So typically, they're very, very rare in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is not rare in California, yung pagkakaroon ng second mortgage.
Yes.
So you mentioned earlier, first mortgage yon. What about the second mortgage? Do same rules apply?
No. In the second mortgage, in the situation where there's a second mortgage, the homeowner is personally liable under all circumstances. They're personally liable for that second mortgage.
Oh, can you give us an example, attorney?
Well, for example, if they bought a house with a $300,000 first mortgage and then a $200,000 second mortgage, later on the bank forecloses and was able to sell the house for $300,000. The owner of that second mortgage, the bank that owns the second mortgage, the homeowner is still liable for that.
Oh, what if the bank, let's say, is able to sell it for $350, $150 yung $200,000 yung second mortgage? Is still $200,000 ang liability ng?
No, then the liability would be reduced to $150,000. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so the point there is a lot of people who file bankruptcy nowadays, it's because of their real estate investments being in this situation.
Right.
It's not because they're financially irresponsible or whatever the case may be. It's just that their real estate investments have gone sour, and now they have the second mortgage, which they're personally liable for. And that's why the rules are very technical, and it's very important that they consult with a competent lawyer who can give them the proper advice so that they don't end up being on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars that they don't need to.
And ang staff po ng Reyes Law Group palaging handang sagutin ang inyong mga katanungan. You give free consultation, correct,
Yes, we
attorney?
do.
And that's the website on the screen. They have 2 locations here in Los Angeles, one in downtown Los Angeles, another in Panorama City, and also in Las Vegas. So very easy, very convenient for you to get in touch with them. That's a number on the screen. Thank you so much, attorney, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you very much.
More power to you. Magbabalik pa po ang Kababayan LA. We are righting the wrong in terms of foreclosures and real estate. What about righting the wrong within? We're going to be talking about that when we return. Don't go away.